Hey, this is Tom. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, don't click nothing, don't smash nothing, don't buy nothing. We ain't got nothing to sell. So, according to what I'm hearing, Meet Kevin sold out of the stock market, selling pretty much 100% of his portfolio and making a lot of people upset. His fans are noticeably irritated about what happened, essentially, with him saying that they should buy the dip just a week earlier, and now him pretty much liquidating what seems to be a $20 million portfolio.
Kevin's been on this path. Buy the dip, 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 blah, 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 blah. Always buy the dip, right? Now, Kevin is changing direction.
And in this video, I want to react to what happened. But if you're here for blood and drama, I'm not going to be saying that he's a douchebag or anything like this. This isn't what I'm going to do in this video. I actually want to suggest an explanation to what happened. And fair disclosure, I kind of like Kevin. And I'm not going to bash him in this video. But I want to kind of offer my theory about what happened.
And this change of direction came suddenly. It actually came Thursday night. I am worried that we're really just at the lifeboat stage of the Titanic. So it's kind of like the Titanic hit the iceberg. Maybe we hit the iceberg in December. It's like, crap, the Fed's actually going to respond to inflation. But we're now just getting on the lifeboats. We're not at the sinking phase yet. And we're certainly not at the rescue phase yet.
So Kevin is a lot of things. He's really good at grabbing attention. He's good at creating an audience. And honestly, he's good on camera. And I really appreciate that with his channel and his content. The one thing I think he's not, I don't think he's a liar.
That's just my belief. And so I'm making an outsized bet on this. But the most important bottom line out of all of this is I expect more fear to get priced into this market between January 25th and March 16th.
So I don't think he did anything maliciously or intentionally. Not the sort of guy that I spoke to Kevin before, and I think we even did like a little podcast together once. So I wouldn't bet on him lying to people to essentially buy the dip and him planning to sell out of the stock market. So I don't think this was intentional. This isn't some sort of, at least from my opinion, doesn't seem like like an evil conspiracy sort of thing. However, there's two possibilities here that I think actually happened. Possibility number one, he might have gotten, paper hands, which happens to a lot of people, and there's nothing to be ashamed about. Sometimes you just freak out. It's a big portfolio, $20 million. Based on what I understand, it's about 50% of his net worth in the stock market or something close to that. So, he has kids, he has family, he has, responsibilities. Him freaking out, it's okay. I don't see anything morally flawed with this at all. If he got freaked out, that's fine. And maybe he changed his mind within a week. He thought that this was the bottom and it wasn't, and he got panicked. That happens. A lot of people, share the same kind of process, but they won't be on a YouTube channel basically showing that. So it's not like he's the only one that ever happened to. However, I don't think that this is necessarily what happened. I have a different theory, and I want to ask him about it. I haven't spoken to him yet. I think he might have gotten margin called. So I don't know exactly how his portfolio is structured because I've never spoke to the dude, but he might have gone deep into margin to leverage his portfolio, which is something that a lot of people are doing. It's quite common, actually. And if he went into margin on a lot of these technological stocks, which I like just as much as he likes, the only reason is I'm not in trouble because I've never go into margin. So if he went into margin and he spread it across the board, and then, as you saw in the past week, it crashed so low, he might have gotten margin called and then everything got liquidated, which is, something that can happen and happen to the best of us. Right? It happened to hedge funds and big banks, and it's nothing out of the ordinary. And I think if that's actually what happened here, he might be just saying, well, I'm going to make the best out of it. They forced me out of my positions by margin calling me. I'm just going to sit on the sideline, wait for the market to bottom down, and then I'm going to basically go back in when it bottoms out, which is not necessarily a bad strategy. I spoke about it before, because if you believe that the Fed is going to have to raise interest rates beyond 1 or 1.5% this year, we're probably not at the bottom. So the moment the Fed admits that they have miscalculated the amount of interest they would need to raise this year, you will see a bigger bottom. And I think that's what he's kind of counting on. And if that's the case, that's fine as well. if that is the case, I think the only I guess criticism for me would be that he would have to say that this is exactly what happened. If he got margin called and now he's basically making the best out of it, I think that needs to be disclosed. He can't just present it as I'm selling out just to get back in, because the one thing you have to understand is it's very hard for me to believe that he would say he's buying the dip and a week later just sell out of everything immediately. That would have nothing drastic happen in this week. But then again, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'd love to chat with him about it and hear more. I'm going to try to reach out. In any case, it's nothing evil. I don't think he did anything wrong. It's his money. It's his portfolio. He can do whatever the hell he wants. I heard some people complaining that he shared information prematurely with his closed paid group like a day earlier. That's fine. What's the difference? How would you have gained by knowing that the $20 million amount is going to be pulled out of the market? And $20 million in this market, it's pennies compared to the amount of action going on right now. So even if you knew this a day in advance, a week in advance, even if last week he didn't tell you to buy the dip, he told you he's selling out, would it have made any difference? I don't think so. I mean, he's a good dude. He's obviously knows his way around real estate. And I mean, he made really smart bets on Tesla pretty early on. And I don't think it's fair to just classify him as somebody who rode this bull market up, which everybody did, actually. But I don't think that was the source of his success. I think he made pretty big money off of Tesla. I think he's an early Tesla investor way before the post-pandemic bull run. So I wouldn't classify him as somebody who got lucky. And a lot of people are now screaming that. I just think they're coming out of the woodwork to go at him. And I honestly don't think he cares. I mean, he's not a close friend of mine, but every time I spoke to him, I don't have the impression that he actually gives a shit what people think about him. That's kind of the beauty of it. The question is, though, the real question, what's going to happen in the next 3 months? Because March is right around the corner, which is the date he said he wants to buy back in. And if the market actually bottoms out in March and shoots back up and he times it to perfection, he's going to look like a genius. And if he doesn't, I mean, it's going to be a big problem for him. But let me tell you this. I mean, Yogi Berra once said, it's very tough to make predictions, especially about the future. So nobody knows what's going to happen. Let's see. But in any case, no hate for Kevin. I honestly wish this works out for him. I just wanted to offer you my explanation about what happened. I think this margin call theory makes a lot of sense for me, but I want to ask him about it. In any case, I don't see him it's a little bit annoying to see your favorite YouTuber just basically selling out of everything and losing conviction on the entire market. I understand this, especially with a lot of people having long positions, but I mean, it's fair play for him. I haven't sold out of anything myself personally, even though I'm in a big loss. I've been very vocal about it. Just because, I'm in it for the long term and I don't have the mental and physical energy of managing my positions in and out and back and in and shorting. And I just invest for the long term. So I'm just going to ride it out. I could probably optimize my portfolio by doing something like Kevin does, but I'd rather spend time with my family and enjoy life and not be preoccupied with managing my portfolio. But, it's a personal choice, to each his own. And let me know what you guys think about Kevin. Would love to hear your opinion. Comment below, let me know.